The first one I want to speak is Mexican Day of Dead skeleton lady Spritz look. She's been a fixture at Day of the Dead fiestas for a century, and Mexico's elegant set and the classy skeleton lady is even inspiring some movie and rock stars in the US to don Halloween costumes based on the macabre figure. As Mexico's capital marks the 100th anniversary of the death of the artist who created Katrina, dozens of video blogs are offering tips on how to nail her pale school look. Jose Guadalupe Posada, the cartoonist who created Katrina, is being honored by Mexico City with a giant replicas of his illustration and a display of skeleton statues for the Day of the Dead offering that opened on the capital's main plaza Thursday. Such offerings traditionally consist of an altar with flowers, food, and a photo of a departed loved one. The skeleton lady in her elegant broad-brimmed hat first appeared in a theatrical engraving that Posada did sometime between 1910 and his death on January 20, 1913. He wanted to mark those who pretended to be of a higher class, even if it means starving and going painfully thin or without flesh. She became the most famous of Posada's illustrations, with later sketches dressing her in classic Victorian-era garments with a high neckline. As Halloween celebration make inroads in Mexico, the spooky and sexy Katrina look is spreading a Mexican touch to the nose. Singer Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas sported a sexy Katrina outfit with a red and black shell and hairpiece and published a photo on her Instagram account. Sandra Bullock was caught by photographs in Los Angeles wearing Mexican-style school makeup and a black dress. While it's often called Mexican candy school makeup, the Katrina touch of elegant skirts and velvet has stand for the skeleton lady. Dozens of tutorials pop up in the last months on YouTube show how to darken circles around the eyes and draw colorful shapes on the cheeks to create a frightening yet festive look. As some online costume stores in the United States show skirted and tight bodysuit, muter, or sugar skull costume are on sale. The Katrina is also trendy among young women in Mexico. Makeup studios and salons apply the complex face paint for as much as 1,000 pesos, about $80 for Halloween as Macy. Mexicans increasingly miss the U.S. festival with the Day of the Dead, which traditionally didn't involve dress up. For Andrew Chestnut, author of Devoted to Death, Santa Murta, the Skeleton Saint, and a professor of Catholic Studies at Virginia Commonwealth University. The Katrina strike in the U.S. is part of the increasing Mexican and Latin American influence in the United States. She is kind of perfect example of integrating both traditions and not seeing any contradiction or problems with that. Chestnut said, he said more and more U.S. families, not only of Mexican descent, are setting out altars and celebrating Day of the Dead. The Katrina went through a couple of incarnations before becoming a scary sex symbol. Posada created her to poke fun at people who pretended to be European but were not. Same was said this Sierra, a visual arts professor at Mexico Nation Autonomous University. Most Mexicans are of Indian descent, but given long-standing racism, many try to look European with their clothing or makeup. So Posada created the elegantly dressed skeleton. Skeleton being Mexican slang for someone so poor they couldn't eat. Even so, he mocked people with pretensions. Posada said that drawing her as a skeleton was also a way to reject social stratification. Death is democratic at the end, regardless of whether you are white, dark, rich, or poor. We all end up as skeletons, Posada said at that time. In the mid-1940s, Mexican artist Diego Rivera put Posada and the skeleton lady in the central position of his mural, Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in the Alameda Central, which depicted iconic figures from Mexican art and history. It was Rivera who gave the figure name Katrina. Next one I want to say is fans flock to Boston Marathon finish line celebrate Red Sox World Series win. As thousands of elated Boston Red Sox fans pour out of Fenway Park early this morning to celebrate the first World Series win in Binghamton since 1918. Many made their way to the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Traffic came to a standstill on Burlington Street as throngs of fans kneeled down to touch and, in some cases, kiss the finish line to cap off a roller coaster season. fan chanted Boston Strong, a mantra that the Red Sox coined in wake of the twin bombings that rocked the Marathon more than 6 months ago. Red Sox slugger David Ortiz addressed the jubilant crowd at Fenway Park, just as he did days after the bombings. "This is for you, Boston. You guys deserve it," Ortiz said after he was named World Series MVP. "We've been through a lot this year, and this is for all of you and all those families who struggled." The Red Sox wore Boston Strong logos on their left sleeves, erected a large emblem on the Green Monster, and moved the logo into the center field grass as the reminder of the bombing that rocked the city on Patriots Day. 3 people were killed and more than 260 people were wounded. The Red Sox became a source of inspiration, much like the New York Yankees in 2001 after the 9/11 attacks. It's a job the Red Sox organization gladly accepts. There's, I think, a civil responsibility that we have wearing this uniform, particularly here in Boston, Red Sox manager John Farrell said, and it became a connection initially. The way our guys reach out to individuals or to hospital visits, and it continued to build throughout the course of the season. I think our fans, they got to a point where they appreciated the way we play the game, how they care for one another, and in return, they gave these guys an incredible amount of energy to strive on in this ballpark. As for the World Series win, it's Boston's 3rd title in the last 10 years, and perhaps the latest in the sweetest because they had the opportunity to celebrate with their fans. The 2013 Red Sox were not expected to make such noise this season after the last place finish in 2012, but Boston joined the 1991 Minnesota Twins as the only team to win title after finishing in last place in prior season. "We have dealt with a lot," Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia say, "but our team came together." And next news is Britney Spears is latest weapon in battle with pirates. The running battle with Somalia pirates has a new weapon, the blaring voice of Britney Spears. Blasting high decibels screeches at oncoming pirates has long been a tactic to keep them from boarding, but it has recently got a some fresh pop, like in music. Merchant Navy Officer Rachel Owens said her security team has used Spears' music 6 or 7 times against Somali pirates while traveling by the African coast. "Hit me, baby, one more time" is a big one, she laughed, and "oops, I did it again." The reason why pop songs are very good is because they have a lot of high-pitched noises and bass notes, which are particularly painful when they are played at ridiculous high volumes. The noise do not harm the crew on board. However, it's completely directional. You can stand next to the noise cannon and you can hear it, but it's not painful, Owens said. But if you stand in front of it at a close range, it would rupture your eardrums. Spears did not respond to requests for comment. Most pirates don't get the pleasure of hearing the pop prince as they try to take over a ship. Instead, they get blasted by long-range acoustic device. The equipment is complex and expensive, and was first used on cruise ships. Most noticeably, the seaborne spirit, which was attacked off Somalia, says Steve Jones, maritime director at the Association for Maritime Interest. The LRAD is capable of generating sounds of up to 162 dB, which is higher than the human threshold of pain without ear defenders, which is generally regarded as around 130 dB, said Jones. He said that the sheer sound of LRAD or Britney Spears' voice is not necessarily what drives the pirates away. It is the actual warning that those aboard are aware of the pirates' presence and are well equipped enough to be armed, rather than Britney actually making the land break off the attack. It could be they are instead going to seek a softer, unprotected target, one which may not be so vigilant and protective, Jones said. This year, 352 global maritime security incidents have been recorded, ranging from hijacking to smash and grab raids on vessels, according to SME. And next one is Marvin Gaye's children sue over blurred lines. Two of Marvin Gaye's children sued Robin Thicke and his collaborators on the hit song Blurred Lines on Wednesday, accusing them of copyright infringement and alleging music company EMI failed to protect their father's legacy. Nona Nona Mavisa Gay and Frankie Christian Gay's suit is the latest salvo in a dispute over 6 hits and whether it copies elements of Gay's song "Got to Give It Up." Their lawsuit seeks to block Sick and the collaborators Pharrell and T.I. from using elements of their father's music in Blurred Lines or other songs. Sick has denied copying Gay's song for Blurred Lines, which has the longest streak this year atop the Billboard Hot 100 chart and has sold more than 6 million tracks so far. The suit also accused Sick of improperly using Gay's song after the dance in his song Love Afterward. Much of the lawsuit focused on claims that EMI should have pursued a copyright infringement claim. It also alleged the company's executives used intimidation to try to stop the Gates family from pursuing a lawsuit. The suit claims EMI, which is owned by Sony ATV Music Publishing, has allowed a conflict of interest between the family's right and the profit is earning from Blurred Lines sales. This conflict has resulted in EMI's intentional decision to align themselves with the Blurred Lines writers, without regard to the harm inflicted upon the rights and interests of Gay's family and legacy of Marvin Gaye. The lawsuit states. Sony ATV said it takes very seriously its role of protecting its songwriters' work from infringement. While we have not yet seen the claims by the Gay family against EMI, we have repeatedly advised the Gay family's attorney that the 2 songs in question have been evaluated by a leading musicologist who concluded the Blurred Lines does not infringe Got to Give Up, the company said in a statement. Sony ATV also said that while it treasures Marvin Gaye's works and the company's relationship with his family, we regret that they have been ill-advised in this matter. Sick and his collaborators filed a case in August asking a federal judge to rule that the singers did not copy Got to Give Up for their hit. Howard King, who represents the singers, said the Gays' countersuit was not unexpected, but he said their decision to sue EMI demonstrated the family lacks the appropriate authority to pursue the case against his clients. He rejected the notion that EMI turned a blind eye to improper copy of Gay's music. EMI is in the business of collecting money for infringements, King said. The company consulted a musicologist who found nothing improper. The attorney said King said his firm consulted 3 music experts who determined the notes in the 2 songs were different. Gaye's son Marvin Gaye said also might pursue legal action over the song, but he's not included in the federal court suit filed Wednesday. Next one news is why the Jonas Brothers are smart to call it quits. The Jonas Brothers went on Good Morning America to talk about their breakup this morning. I think it was time, said Kevin Jonas. And for us it took some time getting there, but we feel like it's time that the Jonas Brothers came to an end. He's almost certainly right. The Jonas Brothers haven't been a real commercial force since sometime around 2009, and the rise of the Justin Bieber and One Direction made them widely irrelevant to all but the most die-hard fans. Back in 2008, they sold out arenas all over the country in seconds, but by last summer they were struggling to fill amphitheaters. A show this past July at Toronto's Molson Amphitheater capacity 16,000, sold a mere 6,000 seats, and many of those people got discounted tickets via Groupon. I am sure the inevitable furious commenters on this article will disagree, but the Jonas Brothers were spiraling down towards the state fair and club circuit. The singles from their supposedly upcoming album 5 failed to do much of anything, and the mainstream media didn't pay them the least bit of attention until rumors began swirling that they were breaking up. With tickets and album sales quickly vanishing, the Jonas Brothers faced some tough choice. They could either continue playing to a rapidly diminished audience and face some sort of Backstreet Boys situation, or they could pull a Fall Out Boy and call it quits. They went for the latter option, and for the first time in recent memory they were trending on Twitter and getting flooded with media requests. What group goes on Good Morning America days after they break up? That's not usually how these things go down, unless it's part of the larger plan. Once a group stops scoring hits, their best chance of continued success is to cash in on nostalgia. But nostalgia is a funny thing. It takes time to grow, and the growth rate varies widely by group, and it develops a lot slower when the group refuses to go away. Super brief reunions at the VMAs was met by hysterical squeals and tweets earlier this year, but the Backstreet Boys would have likely garnered only a fraction of the response. That's because the best tribal have been hammering out the hits on the old and the oldest circuits for years. While new cynics have been lying dormant, with each year they were grown. The nostalgia factor grew. They could easily do an arena tour now, and that would probably be the case if even Justin Timberlake had not become a solo superstar. The Jonas Brothers are pleading musical differences, but if their last few singles had to top it, the charts we imagine this difference would suddenly vanish. This move paves the way of their inevitable reunion tour. They just need to wait until the trains of 2007 start feeling nostalgic. There will probably be sometime around 2020, but odds are high they won't be able to wait that long. For our boy got itchy trigger fingers after just 4 years out of the limelight, but it's impossible to say how well the whole thing would have done had they not released a killer new single with My Song Knows What You Did in the Dark. Light 'em Up. The Jonas Brothers had very few songs that appealed to anybody older than 14. So they'll have to really bring the grooves if they want to be back in arenas anytime before the 2020s. Any way you look at it, a breakup was the best of their very bad options at this point. And my speaking is over. Thank you.